Hey, welcome to Syndicate Screenprinting in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm Naveed Safaris, the owner. Come on in. This is our operation. We have one auto, one manual, mostly M&R equipment.
Yeah, I see we got proudly
We are
powered
Blue
by
Crew.
Blue Crew.
That's, yeah,
I
that's
like
how
that
I
name.
learned. Yeah. Got our mixing station, matching Pantone colors for specific jobs with our formulas and scale. We got the
Because it's a
rolling.
science.
Yeah, it is. It's like a recipe
Yep.
essentially. If you don't have the right recipe, you're not going to be on the same color
And,
wavelength.
and you kind of also have like chef equipment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, spatula.
Yeah, a little butter knife.
We actually go to the restaurant store a lot of times to get the equipment for mixing ink. So
That's funny.
that is a good point.
Dude, I like the sign right here. The
Yeah,
neon.
our LED sign was made by another maker in our warehouse. She's super talented, CNC cut it, made it with LEDs for us. This is Your Signal is the name of the company.
There you go. Shout out. I'll throw them in the. I can put a little screenshot of their IG right on the video right there.
Yeah.
And then we got our
Compressor.
air
Yeah.
compressor. Yeah, because
basically the motor for the auto. The auto is servo heads, but air driven, choppers and carousel. So it's
I don't know what any of that means.
kind of a hybrid. Some autos are all completely pneumatic. So,
Okay.
The squeegee choppers here are controlled by air as well.
Yeah.
This specific model has electric motors.
Oh,
in
that's
the
right.
back.
Yeah, I've seen some with the
so-
cords like that for sure.
Yeah.
How many heads is it?
This one is an 8-head, 10 station. So it's our entry into the auto world.
There you go.
Trying to get the upgrade to the 1214 within the next 6 months. I think we got some things in motion for that.
Shout out M&R for sure.
We got one of the best things that we can get for a shop here as far as cleaning goes. We got the parts washer. Helps us a lot with setups and breakdowns for getting the jobs on, squeegees cleaned. Also keeping chemicals or the plastisol out of the water, out of trash. So it's
So we were just talking about here off camera, yeah.
Trying to be a little bit more environmentally friendly.
There you go. Good to hear.
We have a kind of staging area over here. Jobs come in on pallets. We have different pallets with when they're due and when they go up on the press, so they kind of get checked in here and then they move in onto the production area where they get printed on the auto and then sent down the dryer.
Also see the M&R dryer.
Yeah. So this was the first press I had, manual press. Printed enough on this to the point where I was lucky enough to upgrade to the auto. Currently, we have some part-time employees that come and print manually still, so certain days both of these will be running and feeding into the dryer at the same time.
So yeah, it's a Saturday right now.
Yeah,
so
right now. Yeah, it's a Saturday. It looks like we don't do anything here right now, but no, it's one of the only times we can actually fit in. In between jobs.
Yeah, doing an interview, taking all your time for YouTube.
Yeah, so on this side of the shop, we got
the artwork up in here is top notch as well.
We
I like to say.
we have a couple different artists that we've worked with and came through. We have the whole Baltimore thing going on because we are from Baltimore, hun. And so this side of the shop is more so kind of the brains of the operation. Yeah, so start over here with the whole emails and getting the jobs in, getting the artwork.
I love how you
taken
just use a
care of.
TV as your
So we broke the monitor and just hooked it up to a TV and it's worked ever since.
Also, loving the I said this the other day, I'm still gonna call it a large. Would you call it a large format printer?
I think for an output printer, this is larger format. We actually recently upgraded that.
Off this
from
guy.
another Maryland shop that was went computer to screen. We're not quite there yet. We're not pushing that many screens per day to justify
to get one
that.
of those.
Yeah, but yeah, this was our old one, so this is what was going,
Also
printing all our
Epson.
transparencies, and it's a tank. It's still well sought after, even though they don't manufacture them anymore.
Really?
So we keep that one as a backup just in case. But yeah, this has been the new one. So we've increased our print size a couple inches. So because right now oversized prints are all the rage. Everybody
Yes.
wants oversized.
And I'm sure it's
everything.
quick too.
It's a lot quicker, and it auto cuts too. So
Yes.
it's helped out the process.
You can just
a
hit
lot.
print and not even look at it and just
Yeah,
walk away.
It'll take care of everything. So yeah, so films and all that get sorted out to folders, which seems antiquated at this point with a lot of the digital technology. But until we can upgrade, it's what we're working with.
I think I mean it's cool to have it on hand too.
Yeah, I mean, pulling the reorders and stuff, it's
makes it easier.
We have the films from before. This is our super fancy screen room, if you will. We're lucky because all our lighting is LED, so the screens aren't affected by the light unless they touch this one patch of sunlight that likes to come in. So we duck around that sometimes, or let the screens dry in it. Set up the screens on this.
I was about to say you got to tell me about this guy right here.
This is a hybrid system we have going on. It's we use a M&R tri-lock for registration, paired with a Lawson SSR board. So we line up the screens on here using the tri-lock system, and then expose them over here with our UV LED, which is a retrofitted Lawson unit as well. So we did a little do-it-yourself and built a board. Got our exposure times down from sometimes it was 6 minutes before to about 16 seconds with the board in here now.
That's big time.
We took M&R Starlight as the kind of basis of building this one ourselves. But it's
so also shout out to M&R for some of the
they're probably
idea.
like, hey, you should just buy the Starlight. Manual screens, storage, we kind of, we do still print manually. Obviously, different jobs call for different things. Certain quantities don't qualify for going on the auto because of the setup. Certain locations might be a little easier to print manually, so we still try to incorporate this when necessary for what the job calls for. Here we have a reclaim unit. So this is basically where we rinse out our screens. We use a dip tank system for when the screens are exposed, just go into the water and then get rinsed out. For reclaiming, we also use a dip tank system to keep chemicals kind of from going down the drain. We'll get a Heritage Crystal Clean to come through and pick that up every couple months. We have a filtration system, six stage filtration system.
Holy crap!
It's it's a lot of stuff that you don't want going down the drain, essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
So we try to clean it up. The last filter that it hits is a 20 micron filter. So by the time it's actually going down the drain, we've done as much as we can for cleaning it out.
Without being the actual facility
the
that cleans it.
Yeah.
So it turns out we changed our business. Right. We are now just a water treatment facility.
Which is, that as we're scaling and growing, I'm trying to keep a lot of this stuff in mind.
You got to be aware of it.
It's like kind of getting into a factory-like setting, and it's like, all right, we need to be careful for the environment to what we can do for it, and
for sure.
So
tell me about these two.
So these guys are the wood is actually from the auto. When it got down here, it was crated, so we recycled all the wood, made cabinets and tables out of it, catching tables, and basically holds screens while they're drying, and then they get transferred into the boxes over there and burned. Same with this. This has got a dehumidifier in it, so when we rinse out the screens, we'll put them in there and it dries it out quicker, so we can get it on the press sooner. Or if we need to speed dry screens after they've been coated with emulsion, it drastically
reduces
the time that it takes for the emulsion to
rush order.
Yeah, rush orders all day.
Tell me about this flash, or it's a flash.
This is
right?
another hybrid setup we got going on. This was off of at our older spot. Prior owner had a Lawson Trooper XL auto, semi-auto I should say, and we tried to revive it a couple times, but it just didn't make it, essentially. But we yanked the flash units off it. So this is a flash, shuttle flash with quartz bulbs on it. And it works really well for manual printing because it speeds up the time that it takes for the flash. And it's got a foot switch, so while you're printing, you can keep continually hitting the foot switch on it. So it's been odd hybrid system that's worked pretty well, because normally on manuals you'll see like infrared flashes, not quartzes. Yeah, those. Yeah, so it's been odd system, but works well. Pretty well. Yeah.
Tell me about all the other inks over here as well.
Inks, we have all the different Pantones that we've mixed. We have like bucket colors for the most part that are standard, yellows and blues and reds, and then some specialty inks like metallics and puff and CMYK process inks, 50 Shades of Gray down there. So yeah, we keep them around, and then we also do embroidery here. We just recently were lucky enough to get a Baradin 6-head embroidery machine. This is the top of the line, latest model one. So it's been here for, I think, going on 3 months now. Has been a great addition to the shop.
How many heads are on this other one?
This one's the older Baradin. This one's
it's like
antiquated. 20. Yeah, this one was, I think, a 15 head.
It's crazy.
So yeah, this one.
Is it still in operation, or?
Just one head is
one
in operation.
Oh my gosh!
Right, but it's had a long life.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's going on probably 30-some years.
That's crazy. So. Yeah, that looks.
It has been retrofitted for USBs, but originally it used to take 3.5 floppy disk. So
what?
Just to give you an idea for its age, yeah.
Oh, now we're over here. We gotta.
Yeah.
Tell me about the rocks real quick.
The rocks, we just came across a deal. And,
how could we not talk about the rocks?
It seemed like a good deal. So last week, a friend of mine came through and asked if I wanted to buy some rocks, and I said yeah. So I ended up with some rocks. Monday, actually, yeah, we got to move them. Subsequently, I just went to an auction in Virginia and bought some more equipment. So I'm renting a box truck on Monday and going down there, picking up 2 manual presses, bringing them back up here, along with like a spray out station and some other odds and ends. A heat press that was there that it's in bad shape, but we're gonna see if we can revive it. This rock to my mom's house, hopefully, because she liked it. So
nice.
I figured while I have the truck, I'll take care of it. But yeah, it's been a odd,
crazy week.
Yeah, just like hanging out there.
No, it's cool. That's a cool vibe. Tell me about the spray paint in here too, real quick.
So the spray paint is based off the origins of screen printing from the Ming Dynasty in China. A friend of ours, Supreme Nature, who's a super talented graffiti artist, muralist, did this when we first moved into the shop. We always try to keep somewhat of like an artistic vibe going, because it's like we print for corporations and companies and stuff, but we like to have that like
art side of it.
I mean, if I lose that, then I think I'll lose the passion for the job too. So
for sure, there's an art to screen printing.
Yeah,
that means there's got to be art in it somehow.
Yeah, so we try to keep that incorporated with
cool.
With our shop.
We definitely got a lot of other machinery over here too. We even got like a laser like cutter and stuff.
Yeah, so one of the guys that is part of this co-op, PANGEA Printing, runs embroidery. He also does laser cutting and like mug presses, some vinyl cutting. So yeah, we have a
quite the array
diverse,
of machinery.
Yeah, and then on the far corner there, we have a couple heat presses that we incorporate direct-to-film transfers for certain jobs when the criteria calls for it. Try to stray away from that because I'm a little bit of a screen printing purist at heart, but sometimes when it's like somebody wants a 17 color shirt for 3 shirts, then
we'll get into that about the DTG and
the direct to film and direct to garment stuff. So yeah, we utilize it as necessary for the parameters of each project that we're working on.
Cool. Well, thank you for the tour, and we'll go ahead and get on into the podcast part of the video.
Sounds good.
We are now on the podcast part of the Maryland 50/50/50 tour shop here in Baltimore. Syndicate Screenprint, Navid.
Yep.
The owner, operator here. So, usually kind of the way I like to start it out is take me back to, and you can go even further back if there's like context as to why you got into it, but tell me, like, take me back to when you don't know anything about screen printing. Like, what was the initial thing that initially got you into the whole industry itself? Was it like, because the two most common is that like you need a job, right? And you're like working at one place as just a printer, or two, you wanted to start your own brand, and that's how a lot of people get into it. So tell me.
So in that aspect, my story is a little different. I was thrown into it, if you will. I got into some trouble in Virginia relating to some drug charges, and ended up in prison. And I ended up at a minimum security camp that offered, it was something called Industries, and it was a screen printing shop / embroidery shop that the prison ran for local government and churches and stuff like that. So it was essentially, it was incarceration for me. And it was, but at that time it was, I'd spent my early 20s, on the street, and kind of just fucked up in the game. So it was something that, like, I ended up doing 3 years there, and it was, in a sense, maybe oddly like going to college for it, because
was there like a master like screen printer there that was like wasn't in prison, or was it other people that like were teaching you that had already been in the program?
No, so it was more so it was other people that were in the program, and
I'm curious as to who actually like taught you to do it.
Yeah, so it was actually other inmates.
Okay, that's awesome. So that's insane.
A weird thing.
Well, what's crazy that you brought that up too is because there was a shop that I was potentially trying to work with in South Carolina. It's called, I think, Turn 90, I believe is the name of it. But it's for convicted felons to, like, those are the only people that work there. Yeah. And it's a job for them basically to like get like an industry to get into to, get like a stable job and like, can like work your way up. And they do like education like as well as part of it. Like you can like take classes and stuff through this like program because it's a nonprofit.
Yeah. So I think that
something similar was
it was
going
definitely
on.
A nonprofit.
Okay.
But I mean, we were actively incarcerated on like,
this
was a facility. This is like the
post incarceration. Yeah. So, but it's interesting because you don't know like what because you like, I guess like most people when they think of like certain jobs within like prison, like number one is definitely license plates, right?
Right. Stamping license.
Fucking license plates. But you never know like what job could end up being like incorporated into like a system like that. So it's interesting to see that screen print.
It was like the other facilities, like one was like a chicken like farm or something like that, and then
you could have been on I could have been
interviewing
you out on the farm right now
at this point.
All right, so we're like all right, so we got to talk about it for a second too, because I completely fucked this up. So I'm making sure this is in the video. I super fucked up big time, but it was bound to happen. The phone, I didn't look, and the storage wasn't all the way there. Well, it was there. So it was at capacity.
So I got practice for
you did get practice.
Interview.
Exactly.
My first interview.
Yeah. So now this is your second interview. So you should.
I'm a seasoned pro now.
Yeah, it should be like 10 times fucking better. Yeah. So a lot to live up to now. So the pressure's actually really on today.
Well, I think I'm ready for it today. So.
No. But we were kind of right. Let's hop back in. You learned screen printing in a different way than most people, correct? Like,
Yeah.
touch on that really quick. Like, we were talking about you were fully kind of finishing up there and getting out. So,
Yeah. So screen printing, I picked up in a correctional facility in Virginia. I led a certain lifestyle that landed me in trouble. So
yeah.
got caught by the good old boys in Virginia.
But I think what we had touched on too that ended up not being filmed is that what we made an emphasis on is that you're able to turn, what some people would view as like a negative situation,
Right.
make the best out of it.
Yeah. So I mean, it sucks. Being locked up was a horrible experience in that aspect. But I was lucky that I'd picked something up from it and was able to utilize it to have what I have today.
Yeah.
To actually have a business that is thriving and get to work for myself.
Yeah, and employing like other people, like
and
providing
and,
for other people too. This has got to be.
So, and that's the thing. I mean,
what a journey.
Yeah, especially being like originally getting out, between the transition and actually just applying places, and there's always that check, that question on
background.
Yeah, it's have you been convicted of a crime, or are you a felon? And a lot of places would automatically just throw that aside, or you can't get that job.
Yeah.
So I am lucky because I've seen a lot of guys and gals that have been incarcerated struggle with that, and sometimes never get over that hump because they don't have the opportunity to work for themselves.
Yeah, and to get like someone. You need like a second chance, like someone needs to.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, for employing people here, we definitely take that into account. If someone comes up to me and it's like, hey, I got a background, or some felony charges from X amount of years ago, it's definitely not a, hey, all right, sorry, we can't hire you here.
And that's full circle to know that you're able to like positively impact someone that was like in a similar situation as you were.
I'd like to say that I understand, so
Yeah.
I'd try to extend that, for sure.
No, that's dope. Speaking of you applying to like jobs after that, like we did touch on, you kind of hopped around to a couple different shops, right? So and then we're not naming any names, but there were kind of a couple that maybe weren't run as well as others.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on how you're able to pick up on seeing like shops that were run kind of not the best of their ability, and then being put into a shop that is running like a well-oiled machine, and seeing the difference and like the value in that is like nice to have once you decide that you wanted to do it yourself and go all in. Yeah,
so I did work at 4 shops total before branching out on my own. 2 of them were not successful shops. One of them definitely went under. It was, a guy that was a manager at a Target or something, and a real estate agent that had bought a screen print company.
But to be clear, too, you only did embroidery when you were incarcerated.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
And then you learned screen print after.
Yeah, so I learned.
And now you don't really do any embroidery.
No, So now I'm on the other side of the
spectrum.
Yeah.
So, but that's like a cool kind of
Yeah, it's good to have the basis, the knowledge of it, and kind of go in different departments, whether it was embroidery or digital printing, like dye sublimation stuff, and now manual printing, and now automatic printing. So it does help because having that knowledge of like collectively knowing what to use for what project, just having the general basis of how it works.
Yes.
Definitely goes along.
Yeah, and knowing kind of what your limits are. And
knowing what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah. It's easy to say you like know how to do something. Like I've done that before. Sometimes you have to. Like you're in a situation where someone like asks you if you can do something, and you've never done it before, but you're telling them that you can because it's probably possible, and you just say fuck it and make it happen. You know what I mean?
I think some of the earlier jobs, I might have employed that tactic a
Yeah.
little bit.
I think every entrepreneur has
yeah,
that
it's kind of like, all right, we'll figure this out as
Yeah.
we go along.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so that's as far as the background goes. That yeah, jumped around a couple places and definitely was able to see from working at successful shops and unsuccessful shops, kind of sculpted how I run my shop now.
Yeah.
There was shops that I worked at that, our paychecks were bouncing, or
Yeah.
like, on payday, the managers would slip out the back door essentially, or if you didn't get to the bank, like, to
Dang.
cash that check, then, if you waited a day or so,
It
then
might not
It
cash.
might not cash. Yeah.
Dang.
So, that was like brand new to me, but just, that's running a shitty business,
Yeah.
like, so.
Well, one thing, I mean, you say, there's some things that, you picked up on and things that you obviously wanted to apply to your shop and things that you didn't want to apply.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how some things kind of, meshed into your own just from
Of
like
course,
the
yeah.
different ones you went to. And something that we did talk about in the previous interview that didn't get, fully recorded. But you were talking about y'all used to have like a like a motorbike in here or something.
yeah.
Was,
But yeah,
was that
here-
did that happen in other shops too, or is that just unique to here?
That is a very unique to here
Okay, cool.
situation. Whether we were shooting golf balls in
Yeah,
here,
yeah, that's what it was too.
yeah.
Yeah, because originally we only had 2 manuals in here, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And we do a lot of kind of off the wall stuff. I mean, we still do to
Yeah.
a certain degree.
Yeah.
It's a little different now because we have OSHA
You
stuff
test
going on.
you
and-
test the limits, and
Yeah.
once you're setting the boundaries, but once they're set, you don't necessarily
yeah,
retry them.
we would go up to the roof and set off fireworks and stuff and blast air horns in here. But yeah, as we picked up employees, kind of happens more after hours or not so much with every single employee, if you will.
I feel that.
So, but, yeah.
Let's talk about auto manual real quick because that was something
Sure.
that we got cut out. The one question that I usually ask people, which we've already talked about, but just retouch on it real quick. Auto versus manual can't one for life basically type
Yeah.
of question.
Yeah, so I think at this point I would be automatic.
Yeah.
I love manually screen printing. I think I will always, and I think it has its place. But yeah, I think as I've gotten older, it's just between the physical toll and like
Yeah.
some of the more technical prints, I can only pull it off with auto. So yeah, if I had to choose, I think I'd stick with the auto over a manual now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as far as like time wise, like it's just time,
Yeah.
and time is money basically. And
Yeah.
I mean, at that, like
Yeah.
I get why people choose definitely like auto in that situation because it's like, we talked about it in the other one too, where when people buy their first auto, and some people I guess don't even think about this maybe until after they buy it, but it's like you have to do the math of how many T-shirts you need to
Yeah.
print on that machine to make
Yeah.
sure it's actually you're making money, and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
you're not just like losing money on that because that piece of machinery is not like
They're,
cheap.
they're not cheap. Yeah,
Neither is just a
definitely not
manual
cheap.
either, you
No,
know,
I
it's
mean
like-
screen printing in general is it's the equipment is a high cost business. And a lot of people don't realize that. It's
Yeah.
like why, like, oh, it's just printing shirts. It's like, no, it's manufacturing to a certain degree. It's like, automatic presses are running like 150,000. Like a manual press is, anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000. So you add all these things up, it's like, it's no longer just like, oh, like, and you can't really consider it like a hobby at that point.
Yeah.
There's different levels to it. I
Yeah.
think, you can always go on Amazon and get like a screen printing package
Yeah.
for $300 or something.
Is
but,
it gonna be
well, there's a reason
levels?
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason why. So
that definitely
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I mean it's there's definitely levels to it, and not everyone needs to be printing their own T-shirts, right? Like
Correct,
I want to eventually potentially have like my own, like if I had my own, like what we're talking about too is there's a bunch of initial upfront costs if you want to get the full manufacturing like basically process down.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
to where it's pretty smooth. Like you definitely need, you know, like a press, you need a dryer, probably
Right, yeah,
some way to
yeah.
expose screens, wash
Yeah.
it out. Like there's a list. Like it's
Right,
just
yeah.
like it's
there's certain pretty essential equipment.
yeah,
and-
but the thing is too is that like what I think we talked about the other time too is that like one of your pieces of advice, and we can get to that, you know, later as well, but like get to know like your local like screen printers and like
yeah.
just like call them and be like, hey, like can I set up a meeting for like 30 minutes and like I have a couple of these ideas, I have some designs, I just want to like really see what it's going to take to like get my ideas onto like the physical t-shirt. And so
Correct.
like I mean that's
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 my job.
that's your
essentially, right?
that's your like you're
Bringing-
a pro at that.
Yeah,
You're a
it's
pro at
bringing-
like helping
bringing ideas and
to the
and-
physical like
right,
product.
Yeah, bringing
Yes.
artwork to a physical realm.
Yes.
So yeah, and just having that rapport is important too, because
Yes.
you know, not all artwork that's passed over to me is something that I'm, you know, I think I kind of got a vibe with it to a certain degree to produce it, because I kind of pick and choose what, you know, what, if you will, this is kind of like my art form.
No, screen printing is definitely art.
You
I
know,
definitely
so
believe
it's
that.
like what I'm putting my name on, or like, you know, what projects I'm getting involved in.
Yeah.
Definitely, like my level of like enthusiasm and passion for that project will have an outcome, and I
Yeah.
know that. So there are certain projects that I turn down.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know, man, it's not for me.
Right, not
or-
the right fit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
But you could, you know, it's like that's people might not take it in the best way, but some people, if they have the right perspective, can say, okay, well now it's like, you know, I know like it's a different shop basically. Like I had to call
Yeah.
5 different shops before I get on the phone with you,
Right.
and you're like, yeah, I can do it. Like
Yeah.
even though you were like, I got a huge like, you know, contract I'm about to finish up, but sure,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I appreciated that. You know, he
Yeah.
sounded like cool
It's an-
over the phone, and I was like, dude, let's you know let's get this
it's been
done.
an interesting project. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's- it breaks up some of the monotony for me personally, because we do take on corporate and
Yes.
you know, kind of run of the mill, you know, schools and
same
some kind of more mundane
yes for
like, you
larger
know,
numbers
yeah,
too
so
usually.
it's like I kind of use that to keep the lights on, if you will.
Yeah.
And make sure everyone's getting paid, and then we get to pick and choose our artistic projects.
That's cool
based
how
off
there's
that,
kind of like
know?
you kind of you know got this little gumbo you're mixing up in
Yeah,
the shop,
yeah,
and you
so-
get to kind of sprinkle in whatever you want, you know,
Right, yeah.
because you
And-
got to keep it a good like mix, because you don't want it to feel too corporate to where it's just like money, and it's like
yeah, and
work, where it's not like as fun to like, you know, I don't like the art projects and meeting artists, obviously, or like I'm sure other small businesses that like you're creating
for sure.
relationships with the other
Right, yeah.
owners.
That's
and it's like
always
now
good.
you want to support their small business because they, you know, came to you. You have this relationship.
Right.
Whereas like if it's something that's like, you know, an employee at a company that's being paid to reach out to people, like it feels it just doesn't feel as personable. You don't like create those relationships. It's
Yeah.
very just like business, yes sir, yes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just
And-
like
and I've worked at companies
Yeah.
that, you know, that happens, or printed for companies that's all it is.
and there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with it. You said it keeps the lights on. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
you need it. You need that. You need that for the
Yeah.
art like type stuff
Right, yeah. I
to
could cut
be
more
able to do
breaks
it.
on, you know, when a band comes to me and is like, hey, we're going on our first tour and we need merch or something.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the shirts end up being super cheap for them, and they're like, hey, man, we called around, you know, 5 other places and they were saying this much for it, and you're at this. And I'm like, yeah, because, you know, yeah, because I can.
Yeah, and I like what
because,
you're
like,
doing.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to support you guys and your path and adventure too.
Yeah.
so.
No, I think one of the things we touched on too is just like do your research. Like do your research before you decide like what you actually want to do. Like there's different ways to get images on shirts, right? Like
Yeah.
there's direct to garment, and that's something we
Right.
touched on too. Like direct to
Yeah.
garment. What is the direct to DTF? What is
Yeah,
that? stand
direct
for?
to film.
Direct to
Yep.
film, yeah, which
Yep.
you heat press
Transfers.
on, yeah. And then there is what else? There's heat press vinyl, which I'm sure a lot of screen printers think is like
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, so like, yeah, there's like, you know, inside jokes now with the cry cuts and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Eric, the owner of Virginia, he's like, I actually love vinyl because it's such shit that's what brings people to screen printers, because they want something that lasts.
We've had some we were working. I work now with a local company that I guess their first shirts were all vinyl, and they kept emphasizing like, we don't want this thick feel on the shirt, and I was like, man, Plastisol definitely has a feel to it, but I was like, you just bring one of your shirts by so I can check it out, and it was, there's kind of janky vinyl there that, with a big design, so it was essentially just like a sheet of
taking
vinyl
up
on the shirt.
like,
So I was like, oh, okay, that's got to be a little uncomfortable to wear. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to get it done, but like we just said, like, do the research, figure out like what you want. Like, go to I don't know, go to a store and just feel a bunch of fucking different T-shirts.
That's it. Yeah, I mean,
that's what we were talking about too. Is that like,
for sure.
I'm sure with screen printers, we touched on it, and I've asked this to a couple of different people that like, how hard it is for y'all to be out in public and not be hyper aware of every single fucking T-shirt.
It's not. We are judging every single print we see. So, I mean, like, you can see, and you can understand some of the stuff too. It's like, oh, the registration's off a little bit. Must have been a long run, and the guy, let it go, and a lot of the stuff is stuff that you only see with the printer's eye. Like,
printer's eye versus consumer's eye is way different.
It's like, oh, there's a pinhole there, and the placement of this shirt's like 0.25 low or something. So, that's definitely. I think that's just from being in the industry for so long and just being super hyper critical about that, because that's that's how I judge my prints and stuff. But on the flip side of that, if I see a print that I actually am like, I would wear that now, like, I automatically buy that
you
T-shirt.
You said like you were like that you've bought like an $80 T-shirt before.
It's like, dude, like I like this design, like it was printed well, like I know what went into this, like, and it doesn't matter like for the price at this point, so people are like, oh, that's crazy. It's like, no, it's a well made.
You just like look through your closet sometimes and be like, I gotta.
Ironically, I always run out of T-shirts to wear.
For real?
Yeah, I just like, I end up wearing a lot of plain T-shirts.
Any specific blank brand you want to shout out that you like? Or?
Recently we've linked in with AS Color. They opened up a North Carolina.
How do you say that? Is it AS Color or is it AS Color?
I call it Color.
Okay.
I just felt like it was across. Well, they're from New Zealand actually, so it's not even a British thing.
I actually know a guy who is going to work in sales now for them.
Yeah, their garments print well. They feel well, so I've been kind of partial to those.
But you wear those as blanks?
I will wear those as blanks. Comfort Colors are another one that I'm partial to, and then. Some of the CVC blends, like Next Level CVC blends, are pretty comfy. So I'll like wear those. I mean, I'll wear. I'm not super picky on shirts, ironically. So
that's
it's
kind
like,
of funny.
I'll pick up tour T-shirts that are printed on Gildans and wear them till the print washes off on them.
Yeah.
But
no, those shirts are good, but nothing to the king of Shockaware, Max Heavyweight.
I mean, so I haven't.
I'm just kidding.
I haven't owned a Shockaware T-shirt. I have printed on them, and they print really well. So I'm like,
let me tell you about this project I got. Let me just go into my sales mode real quick.
Yeah, I might have to grab a shirt, right? and field test it too for
research purposes. Research. Shout out to Shockaware though, but also shout out to the people that you're working with as well. AS Color, Comfort Colors. Tap in. And Shockaware, why not send my guy Naveed here some free product, He wears blanks.
Print on some stuff. Yeah, I'll wear the blanks.
He'll print it.
I'll print them too. Mostly,
he already
mostly
prints
them. Yeah. So, a lot of the the Pima cotton stuff has been printing pretty well too. So.
Word.
Overall, like I'm probably not as much of a snob as I should be on.
More of the print,
blanks.
less of the blank.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, there are certain brands and blanks that just no matter what you do, they just do not print well.
Yeah.
And and it doesn't matter how good of a printer you are. It's just
the way it is.
the material.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, I guess there's I learned in Virginia there's a low temp,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, low
plastisol.
cure.
Yeah,
Low
yeah.
cures. Yeah.
And because you need that for polyester.
Correct.
Because
yeah.
it'll melt or like.
Yeah, there's like dye migration issues.
Yeah, yeah,
with
it'll like
polyester.
release
There's-
like
yeah,
the.
yeah, it'll turn your, like, say you're printing on a
Oh
red.
yeah, it'll leach actually. Is
yeah,
what it
so
does.
your print will end up turning pink.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes it takes a day or so.
Yeah, he was like it could happen like a week after or something.
So that's, we call them the zombie. I call them the zombie shirts because it's like they
Zombie
come
shirts.
back and it's like, oh, these are great. You box them up, and then customer opens them up and it's like, hey, why are my, this was supposed to be white. It's pink or
Yeah.
blue or
Yeah.
or something. So yeah, there's different print methods. There's also gray barrier bases that you need to use with polyester to keep dye migration from happening and stuff. And,
Word.
um,
There's steps you can take, obviously.
yeah,
to
I mean, we
prevent it.
learned over the years for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's
Definitely
learning.
had some orders that needed
Remade.
I had to eat
Rush.
and, yep, redo them. So learned from that.
There you go. Yeah, you gotta apply what you learn in those mistakes so it never happens again. But
Right.
and you're always improving your like print skills too, and like the quality that you're putting out. But something I want to touch on real quick before we get to the second part of the interview, or third part, I guess. Things that you're doing, like, obviously the whole thing behind the tour is invest in yourself. We talked about it obviously in the other one, but like things that you do on a daily basis to try and make sure that you're not burnt out. We had kind of touched on you enjoy hiking, right?
Yeah,
Outdoors.
yeah.
You did like the
I
Appalachian,
definitely-
right?
Yeah, I've section hiked
Okay.
the Appalachian Trail from Tennessee up to Pennsylvania. Right now, I'm right at the Pennsylvania border,
Word.
actually.
A
So
little
I
bit of
try to-
gaming here and there sometimes.
Yeah, some video games during the colder months.
When you can't get outside. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what we
more
hit on.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I think the outdoors thing is a pretty
Big thing.
big one for me. It
It
kind
can
of
feel,
recharges.
especially in
Yeah,
this building
man.
right here.
Yeah. It's, I mean, some days, like, especially in the winter, sometimes I don't see the sun for, it's like it's dark, and leaving it's dark. So it's been nice recently because, sometimes I'll be here till 8 and go outside and it's like, oh, it's still light. It's
Yeah.
like, cool. But yeah, I mean, the burnout is real. I mean, this past week, haven't been so great about it because we worked through the weekend and then
New equipment.
yeah,
driving, U-Haul.
Yeah, we took advantage of an auction for a company that I actually used to contract print for, and
Can we say?
yeah, I think so. It was a public auction.
Yeah.
It was a Custom Inks
Yeah.
facility in Charlottesville, Virginia. So
Now we got to take all the custom ink stickers off and put the
I did,
the
I've been
syndicate
yeah, I
on
was
'em.
I was joking around with everyone else, like, man, I got PTSD from these octopus stickers, man. I've seen so many thousands and thousands
Nightmares.
of these. Yeah, I was like, first thing we're doing is getting them, and now I'm like looking across the shop and I see one, so I got to get that one off too.
Eagle eye over
yeah.
here. Fuck.
Yeah, so but yeah, it was a lot, man. We moved 2
That's the first auction
presses.
you've done?
That is the first auction I've done. It was quite the experience. Got random blowtorch out of it because I was learning how to bid properly on.
Oh,
on
and
it.
we got the
Yeah.
little dryer thing. What's that guy called?
Which one?
The little vacuum.
Oh yeah, so yeah, the spot remover
Yeah.
station. Yeah, so
That's big.
so
That's big
yeah,
time.
now we're fully OSHA compliant with the chemicals and stuff used for
Most people just got
removing
I mean, you have
plastisol.
the spray gun, I guess, regardless. But
Yeah.
most people just, I guess, run it back to the dryer. Or?
Either that or shoot it into a towel or, something. I don't know. I mean, that's what we were doing before. But I mean, it does kind of feel good to like get some equipment that like makes it a little bit more legit. And then now that there's like, employees involved, because like the employees are like a relatively new thing, it's like getting stuff up to snuff with like, compliance and like.
We got an
making
eye wash
sure-
station over
Yeah,
there.
we got the eye wash station. we
Fire
got the
extinguisher.
Fire extinguishers everywhere. Now
Sometimes
we
we're hitting golf balls.
yeah, well, not so much anymore.
No, not
but-
anymore. Not anymore.
But yeah,
Sometimes
that was,
there's a scooter now.
Yeah, that was when it was no employees. So.
Yeah, and it was a
I
little bit
feel
more
like it's. I
space.
don't have
A little bit
any
more space.
children or anything, but I feel like that's kind of what the equivalent would be like. It's like you get to do all this stuff before you have kids, and then now it's like, oh, you got kids, you can't do it anymore, right?
I mean, your auto is pretty much like your kid, huh?
Yeah, it's.
That's
I
your
mean,
baby.
the business essentially is. Yeah, and then
That's your
but
baby.
as far as employees go, I mean, they'll find a way of hurting themselves, and like it's like you got to baby-proof the shop. It's like because like someone that's not here, I mean,
Someone that
sometimes-
doesn't know anything about screen printing, if they walk in here, they're definitely like,
Yeah, I mean, I've had hires that we have like a parts washer, and they thought it was like a sink to wash their hands. And I was like, no, it's just because it's a clear liquid doesn't mean it's
Good for
it's-
skin.
Yeah, it's not water, So that I think when that happened, when someone asked that, I kind of set it off for me. I was like, yeah, we got to make sure there's some
Education.
precautions and education in place. And the auto, I mean, my whole thing is, I'm terrified of an employee getting hit by the auto.
that's, yeah.
One of the shops I worked at, a guy got caught in between and broke like whatever bone this is. So I mean, that's how
Like
hard.
your femur,
Yeah,
like the hardest bone in your body.
it like literally cracked it. So,
Fuck.
because he got chopped, like he literally got chopped in
Yeah.
between the arms.
Oh, I bet
and-
that hurts so fucking
Yeah,
bad.
so like that's always been a big thing for us. Is I mean it is in essence a pretty dangerous piece of machinery too.
Yeah.
So, it's like it's got a lot of force behind
Force.
it.
I was about to
and,
say,
yeah.
it's powerful.
Yeah, or like even from up top, like reloading inks if somebody's hand gets caught in something, or
Yeah.
so it's.
And it's, I
So,
mean, obviously we care about the employees'
No, I
health,
do, yeah.
But
I mean,
you don't want the
that's
machine to mess up either.
I don't, I
I'm
think the
gonna be
machine will just
honest,
Keep
I mean-
going. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's like a freight train, man. And it'll
Throw
knock
your
someone
emplo-
and just keep going.
Throw your employee to the side.
And that's
Is the
actually what
machine
makes it-
okay?
That's what's that's what makes it even more dangerous, because if one of the safeties isn't tripped, like in the process of somebody getting hurt, it's
It just keeps going.
It's gonna keep going. There's
Yeah.
no sensors
That's
on it
crazy.
to tell it, hey, there's somebody stuck in it, or there's a hand getting mangled or something. So
Yeah, dang.
I do
Not
put,
something to laugh at. I don't know why I'm laughing.
No, I mean, I put the fear of the machine in every single new employee. Spend like the first few days like really just like making sure they
Just
know that's like, hey,
coming
you
up
can
out of
die
nowhere
on
with
this,
like a
you
with
know?
like a bat or something. Just,
I mean, like
you never know when the auto's gonna
You're
fucking.
right, yeah. I mean, the safeties on it, like if anyone ever is taping screens from underneath and I see they get in the habit of going under without pulling a safety or something, I always yell at them. So it's been it's been
Learning process.
a little bit, yeah. Like for me, it's like and I'm lucky that I was looking for wood to knock on, because I've never been hit by the auto. So
I'm not
now
seeing any wood.
to the point. Of
There you go.
actually-
It's like, but there is a whole like
We'll keep
woodworking like room like right.
Yeah. There's. It's just we're more the metal side of things. So. Everything's plastic and metal on our
Literally
side,
and
yeah.
phiguratively, or figuratively.
Figuratively,
Like,
yeah. I mean, we do listen
more
to a
punk
lot of-
metal?
absolutely. Longer runs call for either heavy metal or in a lot of cases drum and bass. And
There
just
you go.
Loud music.
Music is like a
Loud
part of
music a
every
lot.
shop.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like a
I
thing.
feel like, I mean, that's
You
part of
need
the
it.
reason of working for yourself or having a shop.
You can
is so
just
you
bla-
can just blast
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Literally, that's what Eric said in Virginia.
Yeah.
Last, the owner. He said like it's
I
one of the
think-
best parts. Is I can just, especially at night or something. If you're rocking, it's like, that no one else is like in the building or something. Like you can just fucking blare that shit. It's like,
Yeah, we generally do it anyway.
Yeah.
Whether somebody's here or not. So, I mean, to the point where we.
Well, this
we
building's
need to
not
hear
like
each other,
at 9
but-
to 5. Like people
No, this is- yeah,
clocking
this is-
in. This is a different. Like,
yeah, this is a
industrial-esque,
maker,
maker space.
and stuff. So
Yeah.
we have a bunch of musicians on the other
Yeah,
side.
yeah, I
over
did
there
notice that the
anyway.
other day. Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely do what we want to do.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's nice. That's an advantage about owning your own business. It is.
Yeah.
Anything you want to leave with the people as far as just like supporting you guys? Obviously, you want like local people to
Yeah,
come and support
yeah,
Baltimore,
yeah.
Maryland, surrounding like,
Yeah.
DMV area, but you guys do ship out, correct?
Yeah, we're nationwide. You know, in a lot of cases, I mean, some of the contract stuff, it makes more sense to maybe link with like a local printer, but you know, if there's bands or DJs or artists that are on tour that want to use a local shop, we're always here. And pretty much the East Coast corridor, I mean, we're a day or two ship regardless.
Northeast.
Yeah, Northeast especially.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here. You know,
Y'all
we got
heard
some
him?
interesting projects.
Yeah.
we're willing to print them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Syndicate Screen Printing, Naveed. How can people, website, Instagram?
Yeah,
something like that?
website is syndicatescreenprint.co, which also seemed like a really good idea at the time because it was, it's CO for company, and everyone puts .com at the end, and they're like,
Yeah.
I sent you an email, and it's
Can
like,
can
we
you
didn't get it.
change it?
Not on the emails currently. There might be a way of. I
You
mean,
can get a
we
new,
have both domains,
Oh,
but
the-
yeah, it's the emails are running through the .co extension.
You're just like,
And then-
it's it.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? If you can't find us by one letter, then I don't know.
You were meant for us.
Right, exactly. It's a test, right? It's a .com.co test.
We're still .co, team.co over here.
Yeah, yeah.
.com
That's- yeah.
might, have been winning for, I guess, since the inception of the internet.
Yeah, but hey,
Hey.
we're on the new stuff.
yeah.
Before
Set
AI
trends.
takes over
Yeah.
anyway. So
Maybe they'll decide it's CO.
right, they'll let you know. And then Instagram is Syndicate Screenprint Co. And that's the only socials we really run. So yeah,
Regularly. Cool.
that's where
Awesome.
you can find us.
Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Zach.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
It's been
man.
fun. Yeah, appreciate the hiccups we had in the first interview, but now we're here. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful interview. Now we're gonna go on to the second part of the interview, where it's gonna be this is gonna be a first. This is gonna be a first for sure, because
Yeah.
this is a first of places, shops that I've worked with that are kind of like a co-working,
Oh, nice,
maker
yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, and we got to show the uniqueness of the space.
Absolutely.
So now we're going on to the next part of the video. All right, we got another person. I'll introduce you, Matt.
Yes.
Last name
Aikman?
Aikman.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt Aikman is it says it on your shirt,
I didn't wear this on purpose.
but it works
it was,
out.
like colorful, and I was
Well, it's a
in
dope.
the best mood this morning, so I was like, let me look at something. Yeah.
It's a good tie dye.
Thank you.
Yeah, did you tie it out yourself?
I didn't. I bought it.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's nice.
It's still cool. But what does it say on there?
PANGEA Printing.
And you are the.
And I'm PANGEA Printing.
There you go.
Yeah.
The owner, operator, initial thought, idea person of that. We're
More or less, yeah.
okay. Cool.
Well, no, yeah, more of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And you are part of this kind of collective here with Naveed.
Yeah, it's great.
And what brought you into this kind of group here?
So both of our shops, I guess the leases were kind of ending more or less, and we found this spot, and I was like, hey, can't really do it by myself, but if you wanna move in,
Yeah,
we'll get a U-Haul.
yeah.
Yep, and that's
It
what we
was-
did.
Yeah, it's essentially it was an empty warehouse at that time, and we were the first tenants here. But,
This
so
wall
it was-
wasn't here actually.
Yeah, none of
either.
this stuff
Yeah.
was here.
Hey.
So yeah, it was like, it just seemed to line up, and it was like the next logical step to trying to scale up a little bit.
And it was like a year into COVID, and we were
Yeah.
telling people, we're moving, we're expanding.
Yeah.
People were like, that's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
look now, I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
I mean we
It
did
worked.
get kind of I don't know I got lucky, especially during COVID, because it was when I finally let go of my day job working for another company, and was like, all right, I'm this is it, I'm on my own. So
Yeah, Naveed was taking the jobs I couldn't handle, so I'd go to his old shop, and I remember every time I went, I was like,
Yeah.
you should quit your job and just do this full time.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not
literally.
saying like I was the catalyst,
Yeah.
but
How long have
Yeah.
y'all known each other?
we met
It's been
a
at least
while
like
back. But
6-7 years
Yeah,
at least.
something
No,
like
yeah,
we started working
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
more so like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do like some quick hitters, just like kind of within the screen print industry. What's like very brief, but just like, and I know this is probably like a very cliche question, but just like favorite, least favorite thing about screen printing in general, just like being a screen printer. It doesn't have to be anything, like it could be business based, it could be very technical based, like literally anything.
I have this great idea for a shirt. I'm gonna sell thousands of them. But I only need like 4 right now, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Just dealing with people that don't understand what screen printing is or how it works to a certain degree.
I don't put anybody down for that.
No,
If
it's,
you're
you
new
know,
to
yeah,
it, it's like, okay.
generally you
Very
don't think
patient,
about it, you know.
confident person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But when you hear it so many times,
yeah. It's kind of the
it's just in the
inside
back of your head, you're like, oh man.
inside joke, if you will. You know.
It's like being able
Yeah.
to speak a different language, like in front of someone that doesn't know that language.
Yeah.
I'd say the
Yeah.
best thing is you were saying like you don't wear too many shirts that are printed,
Right.
and you can just we have wholesale accounts basically.
Yeah.
So like maybe 2 summers ago, I was like, I'm gonna wear V-necks now. So I bought 10 black ones.
That
and
is
10
always
white ones,
nice, yeah.
And that's what I wear. Or
Yeah.
tank tops now.
Yeah.
Not today, but
I mean, I get all my gear, Carhartt stuff, and all that at
Oh, yeah.
wholesale. So I'm just buy, I'll just buy a rack of them. That was kind of the other joke. It was like, why you should date a screen printer because
you'll always have a
You'll-
hoodie to walk home
right,
in.
yeah, you'll have plenty of clothes, right? So, but yeah, I mean, the screen printing side like of it is fun. You get some jobs that are just like shit does just not work on that job, like things don't register, or you got to reburn a screen or redo the artwork. That part sucks, but overall I think it's the paperwork and the footwork that goes into having to get it to the place that it's going to be on the
Yeah.
press. I kind of most enjoy it when I'm just like in print mode
Ink
and like
on
yeah,
tape.
it's just
Ink on
like yeah,
tape.
like I got like a day that I can line up a design and end up with a complete a job that was something that I wanted to work on and everything
The prep
too.
work is not. It's mundane.
Yeah, the prep work can
is
suck.
prep work. Like,
Yeah,
I get it. 'Cause
yeah.
with, like spray painting, it's like prep work is just like you've done it so many times where it's like you know what it takes to do the. You know what it's fine. You know what it takes to. Yeah. You know what it takes to like actually get it ready to where you most enjoy it, but it's like I don't know. Sometimes it's just like you're willing to like pump it out, and it's like you got that energy. But I'm sure sometimes you're just like, dude, fuck this. Which is why if you scale big enough, you can just pay someone to do the shit you don't like. I mean, that's business.
That's a double-edged sword, I think, too. 'Cause,
Yeah.
If you
I'm hogging the mic.
if you find a good employee crew, I'd still look at it like I'm that part of it's still new to me. I'm still trying to figure out how to essentially deal with employees and be a leader and be a manager and stuff because I'm so used to doing everything myself, or like if something's not right, I'll be like, I'll do it myself, which is like kind of how we got here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It
more or
was like
less,
it was
yeah.
like a very DIY type thing. It was like I worked for other people and picked up some ropes here and there, but like when I was at my own shop, it was like there was no one else there. It was like I got to do
And if
this.
you
I
mess
got to
something up,
figure
you're
this
like,
up.
ah,
yeah.
man, that's on me.
Right.
You can't blame
yeah.
anybody else.
Yeah. And that's like having that accountability is definitely like I've run into some jobs and it's like, oh man, I got to replace $3,000 of shirts because I missed a word on something, and going back to, I mean, I'll only make that mistake once, but it's still,
Sure about that?
yeah. For the most part,
Okay.
yeah, for the most part.
Hopefully, I only make the fucked up interview mistake once.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
my God, yeah.
I mean,
just
get it out the way.
It sucks to have happened to you. So.
Get it out the way early.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's still very fucking early. Not even fucking like a quarter of a way there yet.
That's
So.
what I'm saying. The rest of the how many states are left?
43 after Maryland.
Oh.
I bet you it won't happen 43 more times.
Oh, yeah, definitely won't keep happening. I hope.
You need like a blooper
Jesus.
reel, like the Benny Hill music. In the
Yeah.
background, and
No, there'll
you'll
be-
be like the face of it.
I'll trip off the stool.
Yeah.
Knock on wood somewhere.
All right, so a couple more questions. Let me just rack up something off the top of my brain. What do you like? What do you see like either y'all like as what is gonna keep like the form of, you know, obviously this is something we talked about in the other one that, you know, got lost, but DTG, there's all this newer like technology, and there's different ways to, like, there's the DTF too. It's like all these other different things, and those different types of technologies are only going to keep progressing. Because we were talking about, you know, I have this like dream, and it's kind of like anti screen printing, I guess, a little bit, but like I want to be able to, and I've tried to experiment with it with screen print and adding DTG on top of it. Basically what I want is puff screen print and to be DTG on top of it. And you can kind of do it with a digital squeegee on an auto press apparently, but a digital squeegee is like $250,000. So that's not going to happen. But if they had a puff DTG machine, I think a puff DTG printer would change the game for a while at least. It would be like the hottest trend, like for a minute on like at least streetwear stuff. That's what.
It'd be hard because the inks they have to be really like thin.
Thin, yeah.
Yeah, they run them through like Epson heads mostly.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just like hoping that some like nerd's gonna come up with some chemical formula or whatever, and they're gonna figure it out. I'm manifesting it, so I'm putting it into the world so that some smart dude, you know.
It's gonna be way smarter than any of us.
Yeah, no, I'm having the idea of I want it to be done. Someone go do the work to actually do it to where I can use it and be creative with it. I'll shout them out, you know what I mean? Whoever's smart enough to do it, but. The question is though, like, what do you see like screen printing? Like, where do you like? Because you guys have been doing it for like, you know, you said you've known each other for like 6-7 years, and then like been working with each other like pretty closely for the past like 3 and 4. Next 5, like even maybe 10 years, like I'm sure y'all have seen like different kind of like waves of different stuff. Like I think like the streetwear stuff is obviously kind of right now like on like a big rise of like everyone wants to have their own streetwear brand. Everyone who gets any fucking inkling of being like viral or famous, the first question everyone's gonna ask them is like, do you have merch? Which is so fucking weird, because it's like, why would I ever want like a sweatshirt from some fucking weirdo on like TikTok that got famous off of one video? I mean, you might. It's like it's just weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just weird that we are, as a society, we're like, it's like we almost like force like people. It's like, oh, where's the merch? Where's the merch? Where's the merch? And it's like, why do we have to just force fucking merch down everyone's throat? Like fast fashion is kind of like a topic right now too. It's where like people are talking about like, you know, all this vintage stuff and reusing clothes. Like, so I'm just like, in general of like apparel industry, like what do you guys like see as maybe some trends that you either continue to see happening or things you maybe see as like not happening as much anymore?
You want to go first? Or you want me to?
So I think
got a whole
digital,
speech on this.
yeah, I think digital has its place. I think it'll, you know, I do see some kind of incorporation. I do think that it being more of a hybrid system is going to be what ultimately is what's successful with it, like combining the high volume and the cost effectiveness of screen printing with like some of the stuff that you can't do where you substitute with digital, so to speak. But I go back and forth, but I've also even talked to some of the people that taught me, and, you know, they were like 20 years ago, you know, when direct-to-garment machines came out and they weren't even printing white ink yet, and it was like, everyone was like, dude, like all screen printers are just, you know, you might as well just close your shops because it's going to be, you know, this is what it is now. And
there's like a copy pasta about that on like all the groups.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
might as well just sell everything and like,
yeah,
you know,
right,
it's going
yeah,
this way or whatever.
yeah.
It's like,
so,
okay.
I mean, I think there's going to be like incorporations of it, but I mean, I think ultimately you kind of adapt, and if you stay relevant and utilize, like, you know, the tools at your disposal to, you know, grow your business or stay relevant or however you want to think about it. I don't think it's like something that you should view as like it's either this or that, or like, you know, it's like, I don't know, I think it'll mix at some point. But also, again, like, it's cost effectiveness right now is, you know, like, again, like, you know, direct to garment machines are not super cheap. They have a lot of problems with them. They break down. Like, you know, there's even print quality. I mean, I still think that a properly done screen print is still, it will still outlive a direct to garment piece. And I think that it just has more value at the end of the day. I think it looks better. I think it'll last longer. And to kind of piggyback off of, like, this is why, you know, Harley Davidson shirts are selling for $300, like, you know, 30 years after the fact, 40 years after, you know, it's like, you know, because it was made like it was made well. I mean, that part is unprecedented. Like, we would have to wait another like 25 or 30 years to see if like a direct to garment print even lasts that long for it to be like resold. And like, it's like, oh yeah, this is something that's, you remember the age that, you know, corn-eat machines were cranking out, like, you know, direct to garment. Like, this is now, you know, a vintage item or something. And to speak of that, I mean, you're bending at a vintage market tomorrow.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
On the sidewalk outside.
There we go.
We'll
hang
I
out
sold
there.
a vintage shirt to like one of my friends, and it was I always joked, and I was like, I really want this the Dr. Dre Up in Smoke tour from 1999, because it was like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem.
Yeah.
And I got one maybe 10 years ago, and the person that got for me was like, oh my god, it was $35. Sold for 180. He sold for 260.
That's
This
crazy.
was like a month ago.
There's like a market for it.
Yeah,
like it's huge.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it looked okay, but
Yeah.
yeah, like back in the 70s, everybody was using like water-based inks and stuff, and then like I think it was DuPont invented plastisol, and everybody's like, oh, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
And then it went from there to, oh, you know, cut and sew dye sub from wherever, here overseas or whatever, and like you can do crazy stuff and it's all over. And then it went back to like water-based type stuff, and now it's like, I want this 30-year-old shirt, and it's like, oh, okay, we're hitting the beginning of the cycle again. It seems like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is another big one right now is oversized printing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not super well versed with direct to garment, but I think that they might have a certain, I don't know, it's probably comparable to screen printing, but like there might be some facets that like it's like, oh, I want this on a sleeve or something. I'm not even sure that you can.
You can. I worked in
There's
direct
like,
garment for
yeah.
like 2 or 3 years.
It's all about
Yeah.
lining it up perfectly.
Yeah.
I think.
Or
Especially
having the right
For direct to
platens or
garment, it's the right
something.
platens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I developed like a shoe one when I was working over at the place I was working,
Yeah.
and we did like Converses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean something like that. I mean, you're not gonna, you're not gonna screen print that.
No.
You
Yeah.
know,
It
unless
took
you're
me a week
cutting
and a half,
sew,
and they paid me
but,
for it. But
so.
you know.
But yeah, so again, to go to my original point, I think
Yeah.
there's like a platform and there's like a utilization for, what that job or application calls for. There might be certain instances that direct to garment will be better.
Yeah.
But there's certain instances like if you're doing a one color black ink print on 5,000 shirts, I guarantee you're not going to want to do that direct to
No,
garment.
1,000,000% no.
So it's like I don't know if at any point that will be
I think,
like,
yeah, well,
a thing
I think
to
the thing you
overtake
were
it,
touching on
know?
too is that like it's just like every other, like the screen print like industry has evolved, as will the DTG, but I think there will obviously always be some sort of human element that's involved with, like someone has to press the buttons on the machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
there's
someone has to
always an
pull,
operator,
like it's an
yeah.
auto like machine, but there's a person pulling and putting the shirts on to the auto.
Well,
like it can't just do like. It may get to that point at
Yeah.
some point. I mean,
I mean that's another good thing. It's like some people come in the shop and be like, oh, you got an automatic press, so it's just like you put the shirt on it and it does the thing, and it's like
It's three
yeah,
or 4 people.
it's like it takes a crew to run it. It still takes a skilled operator to line up the screens on it, to the angles and the pressure and all that type of stuff. These variables, like
And with DTG, it's the same. you probably know better than either of us because you worked with DCG, but
Yeah.
that is funny how you were saying too is like 20 years from now, what's a DTG shirt gonna like? Are people gonna grail those? But it's like it's funny though that this has become like such a like. There's so many like shops that exist now because of this, like physical shops that are only selling shit that's from fucking 30 years ago, and it's not like, and it's literally worth more because it's like old and it's worn, you know?
Yeah, I
Like,
got a lot
vintage-
of friends in it, so I'm not gonna like.
No, I don't-
I wouldn't knock it.
I'm not
I don't
knocking
wear
it,
yeah.
but I'm just saying it's
no, I know,
interesting
yeah.
how much it's taken off.
I know
You
it's
know?
everywhere.
Yeah, it's like it's such a thing right now. Like I think
mean-
fashion in general is kind of just like really like
Yeah.
I feel like on like having like a rise in general.
Have you driven through Micah recently?
I don't know what that is.
What
It's
is it?
our local art college.
Yeah, the dream of the '90s is alive there.
Okay.
If you want to spot some fanny packs and some bell bottoms, that's where you go.
I mean, I think human nature has that, you know, like
Just
it
cyc-
will
it's
always
just
kind of,
cyclical,
like, go
yeah.
in a
Nostalgia
cycle.
is definitely
but,
always like a,
I think, you know, I'd be honored if, you know, in 20 years a shirt that I printed ends up at, you know, there you go, you know, it ends up at a market somewhere and it's like, hey, this shirt is, you know, and sometimes like there are stories behind it too, you know. And,
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny seeing some of the stuff because some of the vintage stuff isn't even printed super well, you know. It's like, you know, a pretty average print or something, but it's like from a company or an organization or a record label or something
Yeah,
that
what-
doesn't exist anymore.
What's
so it's
the
kind of like
what was the blank that
immortalized, you know?
Grateful Dead used? Like, was it
Liquid blue.
Yeah, if you find one of those, you
Yeah.
hold on to that,
Yeah.
or you sell it and make money. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just like the culture that they created, and again, it's, and I think we kind of touched about this in the last interview. I don't know if we caught it, but you know, screen printing I think is like a very American art form. It's actually like the graphic tee is like, I feel like if you look at it, it kind of originated in the U.S. Even now, like.
It was
you
when
know,
the GIs came back from World War II. It was
Yeah.
T-shirts. I was like,
T-shirts,
yeah.
yeah.
I think Levi. It was like a whole campaign about it. They're like,
Yeah.
we kind of started that, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you made the T-shirt, cool. Like, I
mean,
wear them
you-
every
you
day.
see
I
it,
know.
You know, like
everyone does.
Yeah.
even in forums, like a lot of times, like I'll, you know, in screen printing forums and stuff, it's like talking to people that are overseas or in different countries and stuff. It's like surprisingly, like it's I still feel that like I'm pretty confident in saying that like America is, you know, like kind of top
Top
tier
dog.
on screen printing, you know, at least with, you know, graphic tees and putting something like on apparel essentially.
I was gonna say, yeah, apparel.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's
I mean, the whole
cut and
thing's-
sew and stuff
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
you know, overseas. Like there's a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I feel like even the accessibility to the materials and the equipment and stuff like that is relatively, I feel like, an American.
A lot of it's
thing.
manufactured here.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
cool.
the ink companies are here. A lot of chemical companies and equipment companies. I mean, now it's starting to change a little bit. There's some
Yeah.
like Rock is, I think, from Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal.
MHM's from the UK, I think, right, or
Or
Belgium.
Germ-
or
yeah,
something like that.
or Germany
Yeah,
or
so-
Belgium somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there, yeah, but I mean, I feel like for a while it was like the screen printing equipment was like.
So you roll down to like Illinois. That's where those are made.
Yeah, M&R
M&R?
still.
Yeah.
Yeah, M&R still.
I'm gonna have to hit some
American made.
people up when I
Yeah,
get there.
Yeah.
That'd
definitely
be
check
sick
them
if I
out.
got the tour of the factory.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Check the paint room. I've seen the paint booth before. Have you seen it?
No.
It's like it's probably at least the size of our whole place.
Yeah.
It's completely blue
That's
from all the overspray.
That's crazy.
Because it's all like powder coated or something. Like,
Yeah,
something that's
no.
just not coming off.
One of my
But-
friends actually works for what's the company now? I can't. How am I gonna forget this? Mueller. It's actually who like makes fire hydrant on the side of the road, like when the fire
Oh, yeah?
like the things or whatever, because those are powder coated too.
Yeah.
And it's like there
It's
has
all
to
red
be like
or
a
yellow or something.
yeah, and
or
there has to be
orange
like
or-
a metal charge on
Right.
the metal for the paint to actually like stick
it's,
to
yeah,
it.
it's
or whatever.
powder. It's like
Yeah,
just-
it's crazy. I never knew about that, but okay. Now I got a couple
Yeah.
questions that we've done the screen printing, and I just want to get a couple random rapid fire personal questions. So I'm just gonna
no. You go first.
what? Yeah, okay. Well, I was gonna like just name them off, and then you name your 5. But yeah, we can do it this way. Okay, so I'm just gonna rattle 5 off, and then you go. So favorite like food like dish that is just like go to like something that you could almost like eat every day. Here I'll
Okay.
list them all off,
Yeah.
and then okay. So there's that. There is crap. Now I had other ones in my favorite like I don't know, favorite color in general, because I feel like that's kind of like, interesting maybe to ask, like, because you're just dealing with colors all the time. So, like, I feel like you've got to have, like, a favorite, like, something, tone of something maybe. Music.
Do you need the Pantone book?
Yeah, I'm going to pick out literally a number. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Music, like, who's your, like, similar to, like, the food, like, almost a go-to artist or like album that you could just like repeat like for a while. So food, color, music. I don't know if either of y'all like sports. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do, like if you had to pick one to either, I guess like watch or play, it could be either one. But one sport, and then if you had to do one other job, what would it be?
Man. Yikes.
Okay, you go first.
So food-wise,
You want to do one at a time?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
we'll
that's
get-
fine.
Food.
Food, I just kind of have an ongoing joke. It's ramen for me.
Word.
Like no matter how old I get, how much money I make, or whatever.
Are you
I
talking like a dollar? Yeah, like
Yeah.
like dollar ramen, or are you talking going to like a
could be either, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta know. We gotta know.
Yeah, it could be either for me. I don't discriminate against it.
I don't
It's just
discriminate
all ramen. Yeah.
All ramen is good.
Yeah. So I think for me, food wise, it would. I think I could rock with that. Yeah.
For me, so first off, whatever's free or cheap. But I'll go with what I had today, which was I had another hot dog today.
I was gonna
I
say.
had
I
one
think.
yesterday,
I think
too.
yours is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say hot dog or pizza for you.
I was sitting in the truck eating a hot dog. It's
Yeah.
gross.
All right. So now, like, my short-term memory is great. So
No,
what was
neither
the
is mine, so
second
I'm pretty
second
sure-
question?
How much
Color?
screen opener did you use today?
I spray painted
Yeah.
one, so my brain is.
Yeah. So color-wise, I mean, dealing with as like color on, I am partial to black. I'm kind of a all black everything.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. I'm good with just keeping it sleek and yeah,
Simple.
yeah.
This links into the previous question. It is also black because I spill on my shirt a lot when I'm eating hot dogs in the truck. So,
Wait, quick question. What is your go-to like toppings on the hot dog?
I know a lot of people don't like ketchup on it. It's like a
Thing.
no-go.
Yeah.
I do ketchup. I do mustard. I do relish.
Okay.
Today I had banana peppers too.
Nice.
I made such a mess.
Switching it up again.
I tried to get tomatoes and they were like, whoever got the hot dog, we're out of tomatoes. And I had to like go off and be like, it was me. It's fine.
Yeah.
Sport.
Yeah. Sport, watching football, playing would be soccer for me.
You could just be like, fuck sports if you don't like sports. I mean, I don't know.
Last time I got into sports, it was the curling, the U.S. curling
Yeah.
team for the Olympics, because
Okay.
I had a little bit more weight on me, and I usually have a mustache, and they were like, "You look like that dude." And
Oh,
was
yeah, I
like,
remember that guy, yeah.
You told me that.
Yeah.
Matt,
That's who
what
your
is it like?
Halloween-
Like some
Yeah.
ham or
For
something?
Halloween that year.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe. But yeah, generally, I'll watch sports, but it's like just to hang out and
Yeah.
eat
Social.
pizza and drink. Yeah,
And eat
Yeah.
hot dogs.
it's yeah.
It's an excuse to eat a hot dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a callback to the first one. Hot dogs again. Yeah.
Okay. And
Hot dog
then,
eating.
Did we say music?
Yeah, so
Music?
music, I'm like all over the place.
This is something you're locked in with, like.
Shoosh,
Yeah.
that's a tough one, man.
What's the
That's
radio
tough
station?
one.
Radio
Which one?
The one that-
we listen to all
Yeah,
day. We
every
listen to a
single
lot
day.
of British radio, Rinse FM.
Shout out.
Yeah. Keep it rinsed. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm like I have a lot of roots in like electronic dance music and drum and bass and jungle. However, after printing and listening to 8 hours to 10 hours a day, I realized that it's great for like when you're trying to get shit done and, you know, fly through 1,000-piece order. But like after like hour 6 or 7, it can be too much, and it just like it'll like agitate everyone in the shot. It's like going 100 miles for, you know, too long, and then so I don't know. I think if I had to, I would probably pick something more on the chill side, honestly, because that'll probably carry over well if it's something that I have to listen to indefinitely.
Okay. Well, what is like an example of a band?
I think for me it would be like the Appleseed Cast. The Low Level Owl is a good album. There's a 1 and a 2 on that,
Never
and
heard
I
of
feel
them,
like
so I guess
yeah,
shout out
I
to
think
them
they're from Kansas, I believe.
Wow.
They're like Midwest emo-ish type stuff. So.
What was the name of them?
The Appleseed Cast.
The Appleseed
Yeah, the
Cast.
Appleseed
If you
Cast.
need shirts printed for your tour, this is the guy right fucking here.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be it for me.
It is interesting in the shop. It depends on the weather going on. Like sometimes it's all rainy out, and somebody
the
comes
day.
in with like with a bunch of ramen, and we're listening to like smooth. They're not smooth jazz, like jazz, just kind of
Yeah.
like classic jazz.
Lo-fi.
Yeah, and that's always nice. So we switch it up, but
Yeah.
You,
For-
you gotta have like a something you like. I guess you know he spoke on like. You know, if he's rocking something out, EDM's getting thrown. So like, if you're rocking something out, what are you like throwing on?
I'll do more like if I'm doing electronic, I'll do more like dubstep stuff. And there's one music festival I used to go down to in Florida called the Fest,
Okay.
and it's all like punk music. So like Descendants played the 1 year I went. That was cool.
I don't know them either, so shout out to
Yeah,
them.
I mean like 2.5 minute songs. There you go.
Okay.
You just listen to them.
You want to print their shirts?
Oh, they've been around forever. They won't let me print them.
You didn't answer the question.
I don't. Yeah.
If you
got an album?
if you said yeah, I mean if you say yes, it can.
College. Yeah.
If you say yes, it can happen. If you want it to happen.
Just
The Descendants. That's the name of the band. That's the name of the band.
fruition.
All right, The Descendants. If you need tour T-shirts printed, Matt is your fucking guy right here. See,
I probably know like the shop that prints them. So,
You never-
yeah, real small. But yeah, anything like loud, fast, generally. Or
Cool.
if I'm, whatever emo days, it's cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
emo.
Oh yeah.
What is that like? It's
Like
just
American
meta-
football. That's a great band.
Okay, I thought you were talking about football for a second too, because I didn't know that was the name of the band. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
clueless. I only listen to like rap, so I none of these people you're saying I've heard of.
Every once in a while you come in and we're blasting Gucci Mane, but that's the way it goes.
Okay, so the last question is other job that you would do if you couldn't do this.
I've thought about this a couple times from
Me too.
because I'm like, what if this doesn't work out and like I need to go work somewhere else, and I'd be completely.
where
I'd
do we
just
follow
be
our dream?
done. I don't know.
The-
Yeah. I think at
We
this
have a
point, I think that might be the only job. Like, so I'm completely unemployable now after like working for myself for so long. I do not like I don't know. I don't think I could go back to having a boss.
You wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be a good employee, to be honest with you. I'd be like, because I've seen this side of it, and I feel that I would be like, well, nah, like, fuck this. But, I mean, I'm sure if the circumstance was there, I would do what I have to do to make it. But
what's your dream second?
yeah, I mean, at this point, like,
Professional hiker.
I think I've gotten into a little bit of getting a taste for the mechanical and the equipment part of the industry.
Of like fixing stuff.
Yeah, so like if I had to go, I think I could work for somebody in a shop that like is refurbishing screen printing equipment or something, And then the other one.
Okay, I was about to say, do one in the screen print industry, like still, because that's kind of still.
Is that cheating?
Yeah,
yeah.
Do one that's not nothing. Yeah,
it's still cheating, huh? All right.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I really don't know, man. I think.
How about you think? Matt,
Yeah.
you go if you-
Yeah.
I'd either be a garbage man or whatever the term is, because that looks awesome and you get to dig through trash.
Okay. Wait.
It's fun.
One question.
Yeah.
Are you the guy driving the truck, or are you the guy getting off and tossing the thing in there? Because that's like something that matters, right?
I'm the guy in the back digging through, trying to find the teddy bears that we can zip tie to the front.
Okay.
So there's that, or we do have like this small little dream one day
Yeah.
of
We could be a Sanford and Sons hauling, junk
we said
hauling.
if this never worked
Oh, yeah.
out, I got a pickup truck. and we
Yeah.
gotta try
I mean, we've
and-
done it a couple times, moving shops and people's places and all that type of stuff.
Going to
so
the junkyard's so much fun too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Had a
good
good time.
one. I think something in the music industry. I think I could get into maybe with some kind of like organization of festivals or.
I could see that,
concerts
actually.
or something like that. So,
I could see you having like a walkie-talkie and be like,
Yeah.
"Where the fuck? Are
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
got the other microphone? You
Yeah.
fucking-
I think
Who
I
put
think
this-
that would be my
who put
best
this plug
chance.
right here?
Right. That's my best chance, I think, because I mean I don't think I worked in the restaurant industry for many years
Same.
and like I don't think I'd be able to go back to that, and I've worked in like corporate type gigs and like I don't even have a suit or a tie or
Neither do I.
anything, so it's like
I'm anti-wearing suit, actually.
yeah. So I think maybe something in the music industry might be my only other option.
Cool.
Or professional hiker, or Sanford and Sons.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Music, Sanford and Sons, professional hiker. And garbage man. Those are fun, different.
Better, we could just start like a screen printing OnlyFans. That'd be cool.
I already have.
What would that entail?
Yeah, right. It's just,
Shirtless.
I was about to say, just get a bunch of like
Was it,
people
you
to
said
be.
at one shop, you instead of using spatulas, you just like stick your hand in.
Oh yeah.
It would just be like
yeah.
ASMR, but that.
That was savage. I literally worked at a shop that like they didn't have
There-
spatulas.
Weren't they like put a bag on your
So,
hand
like-
and you just scooped
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So this
That's our
shop that I
OnlyFans.
worked at, that they had these like the food handling gloves, and that's how they would transfer ink from their buckets into the screens. So that was like one of the first places I was printing at. So I literally was like just jungle kid, and then when I got a job at like another shop,
Weren't they like, what is wrong with you?
the guy was literally like in shock. He was like, "What?" It was like the equivalent of just like having this rabid
Animal.
kid. Yeah, this kid like that has lived with wolves for was brought up by wolves coming to civilization. So I think that was like an aha moment for me for sure. I was like, "Yo,
There's
holy
some
shit."
there's some fringe screen printing operations that are
What's funny is even being active in forums and I've heard that happening a couple of times, and it's just like insane to me. It's just like
in like one of the groups and they were like, what?
yeah. I think it might have been screen printing shittiest. So
Shout out Facebook
yeah, screen printing shittiest is always a good time. For
there you go. I might have to join that.
Yeah, you should. It's got some good stories in there, and you'll see some good pictures of shitty presses that have 40 years of spray tack built into them, or people using their hands to transfer ink into the screens. So yeah,
It's a whole community.
it is. Yeah,
That's funny.
There's a good number of people in there.
Well, I appreciate it, you guys. This has been fun. Matt, Navita's already shouted out Syndicate. We can shout him out again. I mean, why not? But yeah.
So what's your favorite food?
What's my favorite food?
What's a go-to?
I'm tacos.
Oh,
Easy. Yeah, I mean, I could eat tacos and then like dessert, too. I kind of wanted to start doing this, I don't know if y'all know the Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, how he does the pizza reviews.
Yeah.
I want to do that, but with churros, and just go find all the best churros everywhere.
I got a pizza over here.
I was about to say, if you have a fucking churro, I'm about to fucking break something. I said tacos and churros, and he's like, Guess what, motherfucker?
Chicken wings next.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, oh, no, a hot dog. There we go.
I can answer those 5 questions real quick. What were the other ones?
Favorite food.
Favorite food.
tacos,
Taco.
Color.
Color. I would say purple probably is like kind of one of my
You're in
go-tos.
the right state for that.
Yeah.
The right city.
Yeah,
Everyone.
that's true. Music. Kanye.
Yeah.
Anything.
Really?
Yeah, I'm huge. Separate the art from the artist. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. It's
yeah.
just kind of a basic answer.
Oh no. Like I'm like a huge like I could like it's like deep like
Okay.
yeah like it's not just like oh like I like him. No, it's like I love him like and it's because he's so like influential in the apparel industry. I mean Yeezy is like it's like insane what he's built that to.
I know, like,
He got a
we all know what that is.
yeah. He got a collaboration with like I mean the amount of money he's made with Adidas, Balenciaga, Gap. Like he's collaborated with companies that big. That's like you know, and then obviously his shoes too. But so yeah, and it's the artist formerly known as Kanye West who's now named Ye. So just to make that clear for everyone. But obviously I say that because I'm a huge Ye guy. So yeah. Anyway,
And then-
separate the art from the artist.
Yeah. What was the last question?
There was job, and then there was one other one. Music. Oh, sports.
Sports.
I'm a golfer, which this is actually going to tie into like I'm definitely not good enough, but I would love to be a fucking professional golfer. Are you
If you don't
fucking
say
kidding
John
me?
Daly, then
As my favorite golfer? Oh, I mean Tiger's my favorite golfer.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm a big Tiger guy. Big.
that's not terrible.
Yeah.
John Daly I like because he would smoke
Drinks.
like 800 cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was gross.
Well, he tried to stop drinking. Actually, funny story, and then he started.
worse.
Well, no, well, yeah, but then he stopped drinking for a little bit and started drinking Diet Cokes, and then he would drink like 2 cases of Diet Cokes in a day, and then now he's just addicted to alcohol still and Diet Coke. So he literally he just picked up a Diet Coke addiction as well as the alcohol and still does the cigarettes. He's a living legend, though. I mean, obviously, shout out to John Daly, but yeah, there's my 5 questions too. I just randomly picked those. I mean, I didn't have.
What about the job?
Oh, the job. Oh, it'd be a golfer. I mean, I want to be a professional golfer.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Or I'm a bowler too. So I mean,
Ooh, me too.
either one. I got my own ball, so you know,
I got my shoes.
I'm in there. I don't have my own shoes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not that like on that level yet.
Let me add a 6th one. What's your favorite 90s movie?
Favorite 90s movie? I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s. I don't think it's older than the 90s. Big Lebowski is one of my.
Solid choice.
That's the name of it, right? Yeah.
The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. Yeah. Dude. Yeah.
The Dude Abides.
Yeah. It's just a fucking fire movie, as well as Dazed and Confused, but that might be 80s too.
Everybody goes
Right
to-
on right, man.
everybody
Right
goes
on
to
right.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park, which
All right, yeah. Matrix, I fucking love the Matrix shit. Yeah.
Matrix is a good one. Yeah.
Y'all got like 90s movie? I mean, why not?
I'm actually not so much of a
Movie?
movies person.
Shows?
Shows, I go through a lot of shows. Yeah, I'll rewatch a bunch of stuff on Netflix, but a lot of times that's just to have something.
So
on
in the background,
Yeah.
you're on your phone.
Yeah.
You got any 90s movies?
90s movies, obviously Jurassic Park.
You said everyone says Jurassic
I know,
Park,
and that's
then
why.
you said Jurassic
Yeah, I know. And I think it was 80s Karate Kid. That's one of my favorites.
Fire.
Like original.
Yes.
And let's see. Yeah, you gotta wax it on, wax it off. Pull the squeegee, pull it back. Right?
Yeah.
That's where I
That's how
learned
you.
that.
That's how you teach people.
Yeah.
You're gonna stay here all night until you learn how to print properly.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, we've lost a good amount of people.
Once we started doing karate moves, they just
Yeah,
left.
they're like, all right, man. I mean, we do have some Wu-Tang.
There you go.
On the wall, which was
RZA.
yeah, that was a good show actually. It was he was spinning live to
Is that
all the
print
Wu-Tang.
screen printed?
that one isn't no.
Okay, that'd be dope.
Ironically, yeah, it's like it should be, right? But I mean, for screen printing posters, actually, we run merch for a festival coming up here in July, and this year we're gonna roll it out for Big Dub Festival in Pennsylvania. There's gonna be some screen printed posters, not by our shop because we don't have the setup for it, but by VG Kids, which is a very reputable shop with real quality
Here?
work.
In the Midwest.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we submitted the designs. I think it's underway. So
You made the
super-
design?
No, we work with different artists every
Yeah.
year to
Okay.
try to keep the merch fresh. But yeah,
They just
we're
contract
super-
you guys out for.
We're actually part of the festival.
Oh,
at this
dang.
point. Yeah.
Are y'all going?
Yeah, we'll be there for a week
There.
at the end of July.
And then
So
Remind me
if
what
your next
what is
state
it?
is Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, it
should
might
come
be.
through.
I mean, I want to do Delaware, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
All right, we could keep talking about all this other.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got to wrap it up. I'm bad about it. How can people like support you? Because we gave Navitas shout out, and we're gonna give him a third shout out because we love him so much. But
I got my website. It's PangeaPrintingCo.com, which is funny because you mentioned the .co and mine.
you have co.com.
Co.com. So then people do PangeaPrinting.com. Yeah, it gets. We should just figure this out. And then I do local markets. I'll be out Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, just all around town. Follow me on Instagram. If you see me and you want a hard style, let's do it.
How do you Instagram? What's the
Oh, Pangea Printing.
cool
Yeah.
hard style?
It's
quick
all
explain.
hard stuff. Okay, so you drop down on one knee, grab hands. You just look tough.
Like
it's
this.
hard, yeah.
on the knees, right? Like
But you
that.
can't smile.
Should we-
I re-
What a way to finish an interview out.
and then if you have a third, then yeah, you get one in the back. No smiles.
And that's the interview, folks.